Welcome, Warcraft 2 fans, to game number 3 of this exciting tournament series. Today we are back onto high seas combat, where Angel Fire, Herald, Wings, and Indy Storm square off against Kagan, Raz, and Seppi. So up here in the top left-hand corner, it is Herald Wings. And then over here, it is the Finnish sensation, Seppi. Moving on down to our Russian admin hero, it is Kagan. And then, of course, he likes to razzle-dazzle us with all of his skills. It's the Denmark player, Raz. And at the bottom, the worst spot, it is Indy Storm. And then finally, hailing from America, Angel Fire. So in the first two games, we saw a victory, first by the European players, Kagan, Seppi, and Raz, on High Seas Combat. And the second game was on Garden of War, and that was a victory for the Amerikaners and Canadians, the Indy Storm, Herald Wangs, and Angel Fire team up. So the third game now played, and I think there is game number 5, so it's going to be exciting to see who wins this game. Might be the Europeans, as they were so successful in the last game. Here comes a repair from Seppi. He wants that Juggernaut out as quickly as possible to lay the hurt on his opponents. Meanwhile, Kagan, my favorite admin of all time, and the greatest admin of all time, his YouTube channel is The Real Poopers. If you want to know who is pooping real, it is The Real Poopers with Kagan. So he's going to be adding a Troll Destroyer, or I should say Elven Warship, Elven Destroyer. And the Hop Op was done by this player here, whom I forgot it was. So let's go take a look at Indy's base. Let's click on that. And Angel Fire has paused the game. I'd like to take this time to advertise for Hams, the beer that's refreshing from the land of sky blue waters. Whenever I get home from a hard day of sitting around, I decide to reach for a can of Hams. All right. Razzle Dazzle is the final European player. So it looks like it's an east versus west situation here. It is indeed, as the east side of the map is versus the west side of the map. Already a Troll Destroyer from Kagan decided to come down here and lay the fire down on this town hall, but going to be pushed off by that guard tower. I like it. Like the watchtower that was set up here by Indy Storm. He wanted to hop in and hop out, but he decided to opt out for an expansion. Alright, the Destroyer is laying the smack down here on, it looks like to be the Amerikaner Angel Fire. And here comes a Juggernaut. So we had a battleship, a destroyer versus destroyer situation, but a Juggernaut. Oh, count them. 2 Juggernauts moving their way in. And while these destroyers have fun jumping around, these Juggernauts are making you crazy. And one fire from the Juggernaut decides to blow the heck up out of that shipyard and destroyer. And 3 Juggernauts now rule the sea. And this means bad news bears for these players, as they can set up shop here and deny the bottom gold flow. And 2 Juggernauts going out to do just that. Meanwhile, here a catapult has been achieved from Herald, but not a lot he can due to Herald and the new. And this does seem like it is going to be victory for the Europeans. We'll see if the Americans can pull themselves back up by their bootstraps, but I don't foresee it happening, especially if it goes to game number 5. So we're just going to have to wait to see in game number 5 who wins the series, as the Europeans have already decidedly become better sailors than the Amerikaners. An excellent operation shutting down this town, shutting down the expansion of the white player, and setting themselves up to look very good inside. Oh, here comes a transport from the Europeans. You guessed it. They're about ready to make that assault. And will they choose this bottom section to make the assault on? As the last footman jumps into that landing barge. And will he storm the beaches of Normandy, or will he decide to move on down to perhaps Angel Fire's base? And it's a beeline for Angel's Fire's base. 2 juggernauts, however, there, so they're going to walk right into a trap. Oh, they need to unload. They unload just in the nick of time, but the transport is destroyed. Still, Angel Fire with no answer to this assault as the footmen completely clean up his town. The Juggernaut's going to have to back up there. They know that 3 Juggernauts from Seppi are around, and this town has been shut down. As 1 footman is there, will he try to defense? Yes, the peasant defense squad jumping on these footmen here. Footmen level 3, however, and their shields and swords are quite well upgraded, and they're going to take this game. Gee, ladies and gentlemen. There is, however, a battle in the sea as dominance is trying to be reached by the black player. And he does indeed win over the seas. Big things from Harold. He knows that he needs to herald in a new age of Warcraft 2. So he's going to be grabbing dominance back from their opponents. So even though the Amerikaners are up against the ropes, they are at least now in control of the 7 seas. Or are they? They see a juggernaut moving down to harass Indy Storm, and a battleship about to intercept these 2 destroyers. 2 destroyers versus a battleship, and 2 ships are sunk to the bottom of the ocean with all lives on hand lost unless they're able to make it to that oil rig. It's kind of a treacherous time to be an orc or a human. Or an ogre. I don't know those ogres. What are they doing on them boats there? Everybody knows an ogre can't swim. Alright, so a nice gold mining operation from Seppi and oil production. 1 tanker just sitting there. I guess they're on break. You know, it's a hard life to live. Who knows when an elven destroyer will come and sink you. So every once in a while they need to take a break. A battleship here from Kagan. Kagan getting that battleship, and razzle dazzling us with his 2 base build here. And pretty soon his transports are going to include much more than just footmen, even a griffin out and about the map. So Seppi taking the big L here in this naval battle, as the battleships, without suffering a single shot, move in to destroy the defenses. And now Seppi's in a world of hurt. He needs to get his death and decay up and quickly too to defend against this. And he is indeed repairing that Temple of the Darn. But the battleships have already moved in here, and they're destroying this guard tower. And it catapults up, and it does nice damage to that battleship. And Seppi's going to be just A-okay. He's got that guard tower, But wait, the catapult has fallen. That is terrible news for this guard tower, especially as it is next to fall. And the third battleship moves on in. So Seppi in a lot of trouble. He does have a death and decay coming this way, but not anytime soon, luckily for him. Purple has really decided to set up shop in the middle of his opponent's base. That's Kagan. Everybody used to say he was a dork, but only lovingly, because look at the miggity micro on this guy. He needs, oh, that transport needs to GTF, oh, there, because it's about to be sunk with everybody inside the loading docks. What a tragedy for Kagan. Kagan gonna try to get some payback, but giant turtles there to sink that battleship, and the Amerikaners are putting in a good show, but a good show doesn't razzle-dazzle you quite like Razzle-Dazzle, who moves in to blizz the heck out of these defenses, these catapults. And a lot happening here, ladies and gentlemen. The knights come riding in. The mage is almost fallen. Will the mage fall? He does indeed fall, but the griffins come in here. Even the transports, they decide they want to take some hits from these turtles to keep their turtles around for these griffins to lay the smackdown on them. So these turtles gonna decide to run away rather than attacking these. And look here, ladies and gentlemen, razzle-dazzle in the pants off of all of us watchers as our socks get knocked off too. This is Wiki Warcraft 2, the finest commentary and action you can possibly see. Don't be disheartened if you are an Amerikaner and Canadian fan, because Indy Storm is really about to blossom into one heck of a two base play. He's even got some turtles coming around to help him downtown, and Blizz has arrived for the purple player, who actually already had it for a long time. What kind of a base? He's setting right up shop in the Amerikaner's base. Who is that? That, of course, is Kagan. We expect nothing less of Kagan. Notice how this transport can make it on in here and be safe if you have a unit and the transport selected at the same time, it can actually make it on in here. So wowzers, this right here game is awesome. Although this transport seems like it might just fall right here. Oh wait, this is a razzle-dazzle transport. So we know that it is all up to Indy Storm. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward here. Boop, 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 boop. And now Indy Storm is in trouble. Not quite yet, but he will be, as 3 death and decays from Seppi come to clean this up. Indy Storm making huge advances against Seppi, but Seppi is there to defend it off. And even though the Amerikaners fought hard, they're gonna leave the game. So GG, Wiki Warcraft 2. Peace out, homies. Sting.